Hey everyone, Coach Paul here with my training tip of the week. Recently, Molly Galbraith and her boyfriend Casey, Molly you know from such things as Girls Gone Strong, came by Bang Fitness to hang out on their way to do some other business stuff. And Casey was having some issues with his squat, mainly to do with his feet. What was happening there was they were caving in and he was having a lot of trouble just getting his knees out. So when I looked at his hip mobility or his internal-external rotation, we found they were pretty limited. So I'm going to share with you guys today a couple of the things that I had him do that really helped him to open up his hips and actually get his knees out, tracking over his toes. And in his words, he felt it was a lot easier to get down in the bottom of the squat. So the two things we did with him was, first one was a hip airplane. So shout out to Chris Duffin, it's where I first saw this drill. What we're doing here is working in a single leg RDL position. So we're gonna hinge it onto our butt back, shift to one leg, take that foot off. You can support yourself with a wall or a rack if you need the extra balance. And all we're doing is working on rotating our hip through our hip on the downside leg and opening up. And then we're gonna do some internal rotation as well. And we're going to reach to the other wall. Okay, so we're just turning open and then closing off that gap. Now, Casey was having some trouble with this in that he was actually rotating right through the middle of his back instead of right from his hip. So the way I dealt with that was using the initial rolling phase of a get-up, or a Turkish get-up, just body weight on the ground. And if anyone's ever having any trouble with their opposite side leg popping up, so in other words, this, when they do their get-up, this is a great way to work on the roll of the initial part of the get-up instead of turning it into a crunch. So this can work for a bunch of different things, but in this case, we use it to help him get better coordination between his hip and his shoulder on the same side so that he could use that when he did his hip airplanes. So what you're gonna do for this one, get into your normal get-up position, pretend you have weight in your hand, and all you're gonna do is focus on driving your heel into the ground, not letting the knee cave in, so pretend you're pushing the knee into the wall, and you're gonna roll yourself onto your side. As you can see, my hip and my shoulder on the same side are moving together instead of shoulder coming and then hip coming. So I had him do a few of these, working on this nice little roll. You can rest your head down, or you can just keep it up, whatever works for you. And then when I had him go back and do the hip airplane, we saw nice synchronized rotation coming straight from his hip, and his torso was staying nice and in line. So try both these things out if you have issues with your hip mobility and it's limiting you in your squat, you're feeling kind of tight or pinched, or you're feeling like you can't get your knees out enough in order to feel really stable. Hope this helps. Like this video if you found the tip helpful, and we'll see you next week.